speaking of the Trump administration, sources inside the admin say that ICE is going to go after illegals in Chicago as soon as September 5th. Now, why that's being floated out there, I'm not entirely sure. But I have a really interesting thought about this. Let's bring our panel back. Lily Kate, Chris Hand. Guys, so yes, the president could be sending ICE into Chicago. There's a ton of illegals there. I think Mayor Brandon Johnson, who is doing a horrible job, might secretly be thinking, okay, good. First of all, we have a huge crime problem here, and I'm getting blamed for it. And second, I get to stand up against the evil Trump administration. Chris, do you think that the leadership in Chicago, who is currently being blamed for all of the bad things going on in Chicago, partly because it's their fault, do you think they're actually going to welcome this secretly behind closed doors, not in front of the public?
I mean, I imagine secretly behind closed doors is going to look a lot like liberals in D.C. who don't, want to be carjacked or stabbed or shot, which are radical ideas. I think the liberal leadership will accept it. The citizens have been calling for this for years. I mean, I remember back in the Joe Biden administration, you had guys going up to the town halls saying, if the leadership doesn't want to fix it with the illegal aliens, we're going to have to fix it in the streets. And I don't know if you know much about Chicago. They call it Chirac for a reason. This is the safest way that we can handle this problem. And Donald Trump and the Trump administration, they need to send in the National Guard. They should have been sending the National Guard in decades ago to Chicago. This is really late, but I hope that they do it. I hope they clean it up. The liberals in charge will rail against Donald Trump, but yeah, we all know secretly, especially the ones without private security like Mayor Brandon Johnson, are going to be thanking the Lord for that.
Yeah, I would imagine. Lily Kate, do you think the paid professional protesters will descend on Chicago over the next week? Because again, I'm kind of like curious as to why this is like leaking out there. Like, hey, we're going to be there in a week as opposed to today. Again, I have no idea why that's happening, but do you think a lot of those definitely protesters that definitely aren't paid, that are just out there for righteous causes of their own, are going to start flooding into Chicago over the next week?
Yeah, you never know where they're coming from. They might have to road trip or buy another plane ticket or something. So they have to have enough prep time to actually get there and get a hotel, maybe go in a hostel with a couple other people just to make sure the schedule. And then, of course, get their $8 latte before the protest so they can show up all energized and caffeinated. But the thing is, I'm reminded of what they call the Trump happiness montage, where he says in a political rally, we're going to win so much, you're going to get tired of winning. You're going to say, please, I can't take it anymore. There's so much winning. And I have a feeling that as America gets safer, Democrats are going to try and take credit for it. But we need to remember who's actually allowing them to win, because we're all reaping the benefits of making America safer, Republicans or Democrats. We just have to remember who did it.
Now, you said they may have to have some time to drive to Chicago. I would hope that Uncle George Soros would buy them a plane ticket. I mean, that's, he's got the cash for it and he's funding it anyway. Might as well just send them in a comfortable seat on an airplane rather than driving in a hot, sweaty car for possibly even thousands of miles. So, I guess it'll remain to be seen.
Economy Plus might be a good option. Maybe even getting a bag with it so that you can bring all the different types of flags.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe pay for a checked bag. There's so many different options for Mr. Soros to do with his paid protesters. I guess it remains to be seen. Obviously, nobody wants any violence to occur there. That's the last thing we want. But it always is interesting to see how the professional protests do their thing.